Have you noticed that being negative and mad at everything all the time has become super popular recently? Is it just me? I feel like cynicism has become so trendy. It's a thing that gets you the most retweets. It's a thing we see trending on Twitter the most. It's the noisiest, loudest thing to be mad, angry, and negative. Cynicism is totally having a moment right now. That and Teslas and acai bowls, totally trendy. Also, I just want to say I hate that acai is pronounced acai because every time I have it in a joke, I stutter, I stumble, I'm so insecure about it. Is it not acai? Acai? It's acai? I can't. Let me be clear, okay? When I talk about cynicism, I'm talking about people's tendency to expect the worst from everything. They view the world through a darker lens than they need to, and so they're consistently so critical to the point where they suck joy and progress out of everything. It's like a vampire that doesn't even have Robert Pattinson's jawline, okay? A bummer. Where is the happiness? And to be clear, I'm not talking about criticism. That's something different, okay? Constructive criticism can help people grow. That's how this show got better. What I'm talking about is that knee-jerk reaction to see the worst in something and let the worst overshadow any potential good. I guess you could think of criticism and cynicism as like good and bad cholesterol. One is good, actually, that's not a good analogy because I eat both, but one is good and one is bad. Now, I'm no stranger to criticism. I post videos online, I have a show, I've received a lot of criticism, and a lot of it, like I mentioned, has been very constructive. But there's a difference when someone says, this sucks, or this was as bad as I expected to be. You are being cynical, my friend. For example, this is a true story. I have a YouTube video that's called 10 Reasons You Should Smile, and some people are really mad about it in the comments. Cynicism. But let's dig deeper here. Why is it that recently people have become so cynical? I believe it's because cynicism is rewarded. When you act cynical, you get that quick hit of feeling superior like an ego junkie, especially online. If online buzz was an energy source, negative tweets about popular things would be rocket fuel. And unfortunately, when people are against so many things, it makes them seem like an expert in some weird way, like, oh my, they're anti-flowers? Maybe they know something about flowers that I don't know. They must be right. Whereas critical thinking is about thinking deeper, cynical thinking is just about being loud. So why am I talking about this? I promise I have a point. My point is that I feel like cynicism, aside from being annoying, is actually a really big issue. And in my opinion, one of the greatest harms of cynicism is that it takes away any progress that people make. Because by only seeing the negative things, we take away our ability to celebrate the legitimate wins. Like, I think about how cool it is that we have mainstream shows featuring Indian people like Never Have I Ever, Indian Matchmaking, The Mindy Project, Master of None, heck, even Bad Boy Billionaires. But in my experience, when we have these types of shows, the shows we've been begging to have, what happens? Cynicism. They're not portraying real Indians. That experience doesn't speak to my experience. I thought this was very stereotypical when this happened. I really like the way they said that. Real Indians, real experience. Here's the thing, all Indians are different and everyone has different experiences, so maybe some parts of those shows don't relate to you, but that doesn't mean they don't relate to anyone. Should we have shows that are culturally and religiously and historically specific to India? Sure. But should we also have shows where a teenage girl is trying to kiss a boy? Yes, both are important and needed. Also, do you know how hard it is to learn how to kiss with tongue? My friend learned a lot from Never Have I Ever. My other friend, this young girl over there. I also think about when Taylor Swift released her LGBTQ+ anthem called You Need to Calm Down. She releases it, I think it's a banger, but what happens? Cynicism. She should have released that years earlier. We don't need the opinion of some straight rich white girl. And yes, while I think those discussions are worthwhile, we should also celebrate the fact that that song led to a surge in donations to GLAAD. It got people talking about the Equality Act. And let's be real, simply hearing that song on the radio probably meant a lot for people in parts of the world that have never heard this type of messaging. That's a win, and it should be celebrated. So let's celebrate progress more and say no to cynicism. Sure, things aren't 100% perfect, but if we're not celebrating the 10% progress and the 10% more progress, then what kind of life would we be living? Also, real talk, life is probably so much more enjoyable without a stick up your bum. So I'm gonna try that. Join me. Look at that. Walking is already more comfortable. Look at that. Hey, thanks so much for watching this clip. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more just like it. If you don't, none of us can leave sad.